Aloha, Jen Boyd here. I hope that you are having a fabulous Saturday so far. Wow, sorry about this lighting. That is the sun coming through the lanai, and it's just beating down into my face. So sorry about the shadows there. I hope everyone can hear me. I kind of dilly-dallied this morning, so it was a late setup. And I'm actually going to get on my Facebook for a second here and see if there is audio. I'm pretty sure that there is. Yeah, it says mute mic, so it is picking up my microphone. So what I wanted to talk about today, if you saw, it says that we all have moments of regret, and our choices, sometimes they have positive outcomes and sometimes there are consequences to our choices. That's just how it is. And so that being said, I had a moment the other day of regret. And I've had this moment of regret about the same thing a few times. So it's not new. I don't dwell on it, but it is still, I feel like a decision that I made comes back to bite me every so often. And I know that that's the case for everyone. I'm not going to even say a lot of people. I'm going to say everyone. We all have these moments where we think, I wish I would have. And it's almost always, I wish I would have. It's very, like, I find for me, I don't find that I wish that I hadn't done something. I almost always wish that I had done something. And in this case, for me, it has to do with continuing my education. So, for those of you who don't know, which I'm going to say is probably a lot of you here watching this, is I'm a respiratory therapist, and I've been a respiratory therapist for about 30 years, just about 30 years. I've been doing this. But when I went to school for respiratory therapy, I went to a technical school, a trade school that focused only on respiratory therapy. That being said, it was a certificate program, and I was a certified respiratory therapy technician. Initially, those were the letters behind my name, CRTT. But over time, they wanted to implement what was called registered respiratory therapist, and have that be the credential that was necessary to practice respiratory therapy. And so I knew that that was coming. But at that place in my life, at that time in my life, I had been to school, I was working in the field, and there wasn't really much difference from one to the other. And there still, let me say this, there still isn't as far as our skill sets and the things that we do in our job. It's really just letters. Okay, so let me be clear with that. It really is just letters. I am as competent or more than somebody who has recently graduated school with an RRT. My CRT doesn't matter because I have years and years and years of experience behind my letters. Okay. So why is there regret now? Well, I am going traveling, and because I want to travel, uh, what I'm finding are hospitals that have completely uh, just have completely decided that they do not want to hire CRTs. If you are not an RRT, they're not even listing the positions for CRT. A lot of hospitals are doing this, and it's not all, because I've never really been unemployed in my 30 years. It's not, certainly not all, but it is a good enough portion that it stings a little bit when I want to go to a certain place and they won't even consider me because of the letters behind my name. So I just wanted to be a little bit vulnerable with you today and let you know that things like that, they do kind of cause you to think about things. And the irony is this, is that there was a time that it would have been very simple for me to just go to study and to challenge this test and just get it done and change the letters behind my name. But I waited, okay? And this, I think, can be a lesson to people, that if there's something in your mind that says, do this now, it will be easier now than later, the time will pass anyway, right? Those, however much time you spend studying for that test or taking that class to learn that skill, the time that it takes to do that is going to pass anyway. And if I had been forward thinking at the time and not caught up in everything that was going on in my life, I was a young mother, um, single mother for a good portion of my career, and it just wasn't a priority to me. I didn't make it a priority to me. But when I did think, oh, this is something that I should do, I should probably just get what I need to get and go do this. But by the time that I had decided to do that, and I started going through the motions and tried to contact my school to find my transcripts, and they couldn't find my transcripts. Guess what? The school had closed, and they had sent all the transcripts with somebody to be for safekeeping until they sent it to the records. All right, the state records, what the recorder, right, the recorder's office. And somehow, poof, no transcripts for me. And now I have no idea. Hey, Tim, I'm glad you're watching. Sorry you're in jail and you can't say anything. But I have now gotten to the point where I don't even know how to go about getting this credential if I wanted it. I can't find my transcripts. So I now have a much more difficult path ahead of me if this is something that I choose to pursue. I honestly, I don't think that I will pursue it. I don't know. I mean, is that going to be another regret down the road? Is that I didn't do it and I should have, or I should have pursued trying to figure out how to get this done, because I know it can be done. I know it can be done. I know I cannot be the only person who can't find their transcripts, who's lost their transcripts. There has to be somebody else. If this has happened to you or anyone that you know of, and they have been in a field for a really long time, and I don't know, maybe the school burned down, maybe, I don't know, transcripts get lost. I don't know. But if this has happened to anybody that you know, um, let me know what it is that you think that you would do. Because the thing is that I think that I might be able to. I mean, I have got my original state licensure, right, with the board that licenses, the national board that licenses respiratory therapists. I do have that. I just do not have my transcripts to the school that I attended. And my, I think, I don't know, I feel like maybe my memory is not what it should be either. That's a great idea, Angela. And the thing is, is this is 30 years we're talking about. And I've been licensed and working in the field this whole time. And it's not even about that, my previous employers. It's actually about physically about the transcripts, because I know I could probably get letters and things like that from my employers, my previous employers, but I'm not sure if that's acceptable. So what I need to do is I need to do the research and contact the National Board of Respiratory Care and find out what hoops I need to jump through so that I can challenge this RRT. Because I'm telling you what, if after 30 years of doing this, I can't challenge an RRT test that somebody took a 2-year course for. I got bigger problems. So that's my little that's the one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about today, my moment of regret. And I got pretty emotional the other day. My husband, so sweet, just hugged me and said, "Babe, it's okay. I mean, just it's fine. There's plenty of people that will take you with the credentials that you have." And I know this. And the thing is that we make choices, we end up where we end up, and oftentimes it's exactly where we're supposed to be. So I do have the moments, but by and large, I do realize that if one thing has changed, that it changes everything. And I do love the path that my life has taken, the people that I've met, the places that I've worked, and the capacity that I've worked in. And for my future, maybe there's an RRT in my future, but I'm not going to live with the regrets of the choices that I've made in the past. I just am not going to live there. I can maybe visit those regrets every now and again. But all in all, I think that gratitude wins out in the end. So, do you have things that you have done where you have moments of regret? That's normal, okay, to have those moments. But what I recommend is that you don't ever live in regret. Don't live a life of regret. All right. Look at what it is that you can do to remedy it if you can. And if that's something that you want to do. For me, I'm going to do a bit of research just because I want to see if it's possible that I can do that. My life is very different now. I have lots of extra time. If I needed to take an online course here and there to be ready to take a test, I could do that. my life was not like this then. And so that's why I made the decisions that I made in that moment. And I don't have anything to regret about that. It just wasn't the right time for me. Okay. So think about that when you have those moments where you wish you would have. It wasn't the right time. If you didn't do it, it wasn't the right time. Okay. If you are compelled enough to take the action to get it done, then it's the right time. If not, it wasn't. And don't live in that place where you regret what you haven't done. Just decide what you want to do from now on and make an effort to get it done. I hope that this in some way brought you some value, maybe made you think about some things, maybe made you entertain some choices that maybe you thought about before and you thought, it's not the right time to do it. Well, maybe you've reconsidered. Maybe this is something that sparked something in you to get up and go do something that maybe a while back wasn't the right time for you, but maybe it is now. Take the chance, okay? If this is something that you really want to do and you feel like it would benefit you, do it, okay? Because oftentimes we don't regret the things that we do. It's the things that we don't do that plagues us, all right? So I will see you back here on Monday. And until then, have an amazing weekend because you choose to. Aloha.